Hey there, Riverman fans. I'm Jason Ruff, joined as always by Riverman head coach John Gidell. It's time for another episode of Coffee with Coach, presented by CXT Roasting. Ooh, that's good. Good stuff as all. And new cups.
New cups. Look at this. Little CXT roast.
Oh, yeah.
He hooked us up.
Oh,
Tristan
yeah.
hooked us
Tristan
up.
hooked us up. I saw Tristan last night. We took a couple of the guys, Braden Barker, Michael
I heard.
McChesney, to film a little bit of a promo because they're one of the sponsors for this Friday's game.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do the invite. I'm only told you go here, you bring this, you show up here to work.
That's awesome. I heard we had a good promotion.
Oh, yeah, good promotion with them. First 1,000 fans are going to get a free little package of the Riverman blend coffee.
That's awesome.
So we filmed a little promotion video with them, and Tristan comes to me and say, so we saw the last Coffee with Coach, and Ruffer had the old red cup, you need a new one. So Tristan able to hook me up with a little travel thing. It's really good.
Good for you, buddy.
Speaking of travel, the Rivermen just coming back from a tough road weekend against the Evansville Thunderbolts, back-to-back losses. What do you think it was the most important aspect of Peoria's game that needs to get better following that weekend now that you've had a chance to dissect the games and watch some film?
Yeah, I you're never as good, never as bad, and that you think. And we talked about when we were 3-0. I don't think we were playing like a 3-0 team, but there's a lot of different things that happens in a game that allows you to win or lose. And I think that the first game there, I thought we had an average week of practice, and I thought we were really disconnected. And then second game, I thought we played a little bit better. Scoring chances were pretty even. But again, we lost a special team battle that weekend, and that was a big, it hurt us a lot. And then also, we thought for the first time in a year we gave up one or two soft goals in that second game, which kind of, it hurts when your team is fragile. Like when we have a lot of young guys and new guys, it's hard. I mean, you have to almost play that perfect game to win at the beginning of the year when you have all these new guys in. So it's been tough, but we talked about it. I think we talked about it at season ticket. It's going to take a few weeks with this group to kind of get them going. 6 new defensemen that almost never played for the Rivermen, and people tend to forget this, but the Alec Agaman and the Jordan Ernst and all those guys, it took us 2-3 years to get them going. Like, when they started here, they weren't exactly, putting everything on fire. So it takes a while to build when you have all these new players. And there's so much information that came to them in the last 3-4 weeks that I think sometimes the brain is just an overload. Yeah. And, there's a lot of different things. But hockey, when you think about it, just goes back to still battles, races, and just your IQ. And, when your deposits are not good, then you don't get first touch, then you have to win a battle. And then if you don't win those battles, you never have the puck. And I think we're at that point right now, just simplifying everything and just starting to, your second and third efforts, winning battles, winning races, putting pucks in the right areas. Once we do that, we have to go to our identity, which guys are struggling. Like, we never have net presence and offensively. So when you don't have that, you don't have attachment. When you don't have attachment, it's 5-on-5 on the outside. When you play man-on-man with 5 players in your face, it's hard. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that guys still don't understand. I think we have a lot of new players that, there's everything about hockey is connected. And once you do something wrong, it actually brings 4 or 5 different things that are wrong, and then you struggle in hockey games. So until we get connected and we understand why we do this and why the identity of Peoria Rivermen is, it's gonna be a little bit tougher. And like I said, though, it's at the beginning of the year, it's a great challenge with all these new faces, but it's gonna take a little bit longer than usual, just like it did our expansion year.
Yeah. Well, not just do you have so many new players, you have a lot of young players as well. And everyone talks about in sports, the new young generation of players, they're this, they're that. What do you think is the biggest challenge of coaching a lot of young players on a team to bring them into an existing system? And on the flip side, what do you think is the most impressive opportunity that perhaps goes unnoticed with all these young players?
One, I believe in that, and I don't believe in that at the same time. So for me, the new generation is the same. The only thing is they have more around them to take their focus off what's important.
Okay.
I think we still have great warriors in our locker room. We have guys that want to get better. Even after losing 2, we had a very hard day of practice on Monday and Tuesday, and they still came and worked hard and did what they have to do. I just believe off the ice, hockey is not their lives anymore. So they don't live and die with the game.
Right.
They have their phones or, and when you add different things, you add a phone, you add an iPad, you add a computer, you add all these television things that we have now. Those kids don't exactly visualize and think about the game 24 hours a day like we used to. So I don't think they don't want to work or, that they always say, oh, the new generation is softer. I don't think it's the case. I think is they have so much else to focus on that it's hard for them to kind of stay in the moment and really focus and live and die with the game. Like they, win, lose, I'm sure it bothers them, but they still have things to go to that, kind of alleviate that pain. We just have to sit in your bed for hours just thinking about that loss or every bad play you made, and we put so much pressure on ourselves, and it's just not the case anymore. So as coaches, you have to, with the times, you have to move up with the times and understand that that's not there anymore. So how do I get the best out of all these players? There's different ways to do it.
Right.
It's just a matter of finding what kind of pushes every athlete, and that's the thing when you have a lot of new athletes to a team. I still don't know which button to push. Like you have to learn all those things. What what does this athlete need? What does this athlete need to perform at his best? So it's just about learning about our players right now and keep going. And we got lucky with that 3-0 start because I knew we weren't a 3-0 team, but it still gave us a little bit of time, like to have like harder practices to try to get everybody, and we'll keep going like that until we find what we need to find. Is going to keep being hard and making sure that we do the right things.
Well, you mentioned about all these players having distractions. Like I'm sure back when you played, especially junior hockey or minor professional hockey, if you had a tough weekend, it was a long, quiet bus trip back home. These days, when you're on a bus trip back, you've got players on their phones. They're watching Game 7 of the World Series. They're just doing something to take their minds off of a tough weekend. So I can definitely understand it. You don't have hockey's not the all-encompassing. This is what you're doing 110% of the time.
Yeah, and I think that's the only difference because I do believe all our boys want to work as hard as any player I've ever had.
Right.
It's just a matter of they're not like. There's so many distractions, and they don't live and die. Like on that bus ride home, like. You probably would have almost freaking lost it in the old days because you had nothing else to put your mind aside. Your coach would not let you talk if you lose on the bus. Right. So all you're thinking for the next few days is just like, what did I do wrong? Why did I do it wrong? And that's all you sleep with it. You live with it every single day. These guys have, and that's okay. It's good that they have distraction to get away from those losses. Yet at the same time, you want to make them understand also what kind of culture is, and the winning culture is. It's unacceptable to win 2 games on the road. Even if we played, I thought Evansville were upset because they lost their last 2. So they came out really hard, and they have their whole team back pretty much except for a few defensemen. So they're connected. They know what they're doing out there. They won a cup with that team, so they're a very good hockey team. And we're young, and I know I don't like to say it, but we're young and dumb still. Until we understand, like we're not reading play, we're not processing information. Yeah. It's slow, but what can you do as a coach except for keep working, keep showing video, keep developing your guys, because that's the guys we have right now, and that's the guys that are going to have to do it for us, so we got to just keep working with them.
And you have a very complex system of how you play the game, how you've always played the game here in Peoria, and some of these new players, these younger players, they don't have as much exposure with that many rotations or how much they have to think out on the ice, how much they have to think the game. How creative do you and Coach Levine get in terms of trying to teach these new young players not only the systems, but getting them to buy into the culture here in Peoria? How creative do you guys get?
We do, but at the same time, it's a long process. We're asking players to think 2-3 plays in advance with the small area games we do or different drills that we do. I don't like just pure 3-2 down like the ice. Like to me, everything has to be a thinking drill. Everything has to be a challenge. Everything has to do with one of the rotations we want to do defensively, offensively, in the neutral zone. So it's all drills that take a while to figure out where you're at. And like I said, a lot of the great players we had here, it took us 2 years, a year and a half, a year. Like even you look at Josh Martin that's injured right now. The first month and a half of the year last year, he was not very good for us. And one click happens that he could start understanding what we wanted to do, and then you watch film on him, and he's always in the right spot all the time. So it just doesn't happen overnight with new players, and even if they're older players that played before, they never maybe played in the way we want to play. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So
right,
you're
right.
coming, and I'm not saying they didn't have good coach. They might have had the best coaches that were, like I talked to a lot of Ds. They only wanted their Ds on the blue line without moving, and just like
Rod hockey.
Yeah,
almost
correct.
like,
Yeah. So for us, we're asking a lot, and it takes a time. And then once you have a lot of information and you think too much, you slow down in games, and that's the biggest thing. That's why we're trying to present it in practice a lot, because we don't want them to think. You still think, but it's kind of imprinted in your DNA once you know exactly what you're doing in every situation, that you think less so you can play fast. But right now, I think they're still at the stage of trying to think about everything, and it's a lot of information. So when you overthink, you kind of slow down in the game, and that's kind of what we want to get rid of. And that's why we do so much video since the beginning of the year and try to teach all these new players what they have to do. But I have a lot of confidence. We lost the first game by 1. We lost a special team. We had a chance on the power play with a tap in the back door.
Yeah.
You score that goal, all of a sudden we tie that game. All of a sudden in overtime you get lucky and you get one. Then you're 4-0 and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And that's what hockey, that's how close you are. Like, we knew Evansville were going to be mad because they lost 2 games in a row. So we knew they were going to come out hard. Unfortunately, we just couldn't match their intensity, and I think their physicality was a little too much for us, and we're going to learn from it and get better.
Yeah, and that's a good Evansville Thunderbolts team. I mean, Jeff Bass, he's won the last 6 games against the Rivermen. He knows how to attack you, put 2 men forecheck on in the offensive zone, be physical, and for a young team that has had some challenges or doesn't have the experience of maybe teams of Rivermen past, that can be kind of intimidating and tough to play against.
Yeah, the North is different.
Yeah.
Like, when you play in the North Division, I think that's why we won the last few years here in the North, is we play a different game. We play a physical game, and Besser's got his guys always picking, grabbing, jumping on you, and we know they don't call it in this league.
Yep.
The refs, unfortunately, don't call those interference plays that happen about 90 to 100 times when you play Evansville in a game. So, and he's smart. If they're not going to call it, just keep picking.
Right.
And then for our young guys to have to scratch and claw to get to somebody, it's always hard, and they don't have the juice to win that battle. Yeah. So, no, they do a great job against us, and it's more too young. Their forecheck wasn't better than any other forecheck. It's just that our D are struggling reading. They're struggling processing the information that's coming at them, and we're not making the right play, and that's going to come with reps and getting them used to what we're going to see in the North, which is fast, physical teams, and that's what it is.
Speaking on players who are scratching and clawing, we saw a lot of Idele Dinier both playing forward and also playing defenseman last weekend. What do you like about his game this year? What's different from the Idele Dinier this year compared to last year, do you think?
Well, he's matured a lot. He wants to be out there. He wants to play a lot. And the first game especially, I thought he had a really good game, and then our forwards just weren't going. So you're trying, for me, every single game, I tell it all the time, has got a different story. And you got to try to win that story. If it's moving a D up front like we did last year with Ernie, or whatever we have to do to try to win the one game, and then you'll explain to the guys that didn't play as much the next day. But our job is to win hockey games, and we'll do whatever it takes. And I thought that game he was skating well. He had energy, and we played him in the final game against Evansville when he came back from his injury last year. And I thought he had a great game at forward. So we figured, helping out Bearsy with a little bit of that fierce physicality and putting him out there would give us at least a forecheck, which I think he did. And the second game, big bodies. You got to remember, Ayo only played 2-3 games. For the last 8 months of his life. So they all have to get in better shape. All our boys know that, and that's why we're lucky enough. Abs just came in, did all the biometrics on the boys to make sure we understand where we have to be when it comes to weight-wise and body fat-wise. And we're just going to keep working with our boys and hopefully making them better. And like I said, if things come up that we have a chance to get a better player, we'll see when it comes. But you're just trying to get your team better every single day, and you can't. Like I said, a win and a loss is so close. We could have been 0-3, like we could be 3-0, like we could be 4-1, like we'd be 1-4 right now. So we're not the Rivermen of the past, because we lost our 10 guys that we're really relying on with that speed and that energy. But that's part of the game. You have to make do what we have right now and make them the best version of themselves.
Well, they say football is a game of inches, hockey is a game of centimeters. And that's exactly right.
Absolutely. And then you look, like I said, that Bark save.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we tie a game.
Exactly.
We could be 4-0 and with we're not playing well. You know what I mean? Like, so you never know in hockey. It's like I thought Fayetteville came in here and played 2 great games, and they left Peoria with 2 losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that just shows you, like, it's a game of inches, it's a game of centimeters. You know what I mean? Like, it's you know, there's not that much of a difference between this league. Like, we know Huntsville always have the most talented team, and after that, it's pretty much all the same. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. Now, speaking on the personnel front, you got some good news this week. Josh Martin and Mike Gillette moved to the 14-day IR, so their window of return is within sight. How important are those 2 gentlemen going to be, not only when they return, but also just having them around the team with the boys, getting better, getting back into game shape?
Yeah, I think that's what you just mentioned. I think just having practice time with the boys, I think it's actually great for the guys too to see 2 veterans that know how to play the game. I mean, when it comes to details, I don't think you'll find better players than Mike Gillette as a winger. And then Marty as a D, like detail-wise, are phenomenal. And you know, in the years past, like you can still win without them because we were so deep. But this year, you lose 2 guys like that, and even the Connor Schmuel that we had big expectation. Those are three big pieces for us right now. With you know, where we don't have depth this year, so those guys become really key players in what we want to do and accomplish here in Peoria, and they're excited. I mean, they've been wanting to play, but it just shows you that. That's what I'm trying to teach these new guys, the warrior mentality. These guys played in the playoffs. Like, you think about it, Marty was our best D in the playoff. And, you know, with the 2 surgeries he needed at the end of the year, and he was still our best. But that's that warrior mentality that's hard to find. So when you have 2 of them like that are warriors, and the detail, like, they're phenomenal at details, it makes a big difference.
Martin was also Peoria's leading goal scorer in the playoffs last year.
He was just, but he was a machine. Like, and like, you know, they could have just took the injuries and had surgery earlier, but they wanted to play so bad. And that's the kind of mentality that is missing a little bit. And that's where we're trying to train our new players to have that river mentality, that guys would play through anything because they wanted to be together on the ice and help each other out. So we just have to find that, and we will. You know, and if you can't train, I always say I give players a chance for a while, and if you can't train them, if they don't want to buy in, then you have to go another avenue and find somebody that will, because you don't need the best players all the time. You just need guys that buy in, to want to do the right details to win hockey games every single day.
Absolutely. All right, now time for my fun question. We were talking a lot of serious hockey stuff. Time for my fun question. What is your favorite cable TV theme for hockey, whether it be Hockey Night in Canada, NBC, TNT, the ESPN theme? What is your favorite intro theme where you just turn on, you're like, okay, yes, that just gets you jacked up?
Oh, you know, Hockey Night in Canada.
Hockey Night in Canada.
You had to. That's the only time I could stay late at night when I was young, is when we get Saturday night, you know what I mean? Hockey Night in Canada, and with Don Cherry and all those guys. And we loved that song. It's imprinted in our brains as young Canadian boys, and that's all we couldn't wait for. Like, our Hockey Night in Canada, man. It was like gold.
Yeah, what does that song mean to you? You hear that? What does that mean to you?
It just
what
pumps
kind of
you up, and they still use it now in different broadcasts.
Yeah,
like,
different forms.
Yeah, different forms, and it just brings you back, man. It's like, it's a joy we used to have, and that's what I mean, like, distraction of these boys. Like, we used to have magazines of our favorite. Like, that's all we lived on. Even when I played Major Junior, I couldn't wait to get home and watch an NHL game and, like, study them, and, like, because I didn't have a phone. I didn't have video games. I didn't have anything, man. Right. So you had to find your fun, and that song just reminds me of great experience when I was young, because I'll always remember Sunday we'd come back, like, at the post office, and that's where we hung out, and then we'd show them, hey, did you see Mike Keane? Did you see Brian Skrulin do this play? I mean, so that's all we lived for. So that team song's going to be with me, and now when I hear another I'm pumped, like, different version of it, but I'm so pumped just to hear it. Makes me happy, and my family laughs, because when there's O Canada, I still watch it sometimes, and I just get up on my couch and start. I mean, so it's just things you'll never forget, and you know, with being a true passionate of the game of hockey, it's a lot of fun.
Fun fact about O Canada. So growing up, me being a Blackhawks fan, obviously Comcast Sportsnet, when they had the Blackhawks games on, Pat Foley doing the broadcasting, and, you know, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, they'd always go to the anthems, and of course the great anthems at the United Center.
It's the best one in history.
It's the best one in history. But here's the thing. So my parents grew up in the old Chicago Stadium when they had the old theater organ. And when they always play O Canada, we always stand up and sing that one. And when it gets to a certain point, I believe it's the brave North, strong and free. My dad always comes, dun, 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 because the old organ, he's like, dun, dun, dun. It was just, and we just always just laugh for that point. And then, of course, the regular national anthem. Even if you're just in your living room at home, it just takes you. But
I remember when we brought Cornelis here. A few
Jim
years,
Cornelissen. Yeah,
Cornelissen. Sorry, a few years back, and it was a Ben Zobrist night.
Yes.
I think it was like 8,000 people in the crowd. His voice. I go to Blackhawks game when I have a chance, and like I honestly believe, because they've been struggling a little bit lately.
Yeah.
I just go for that national
anthem.
Like,
go for him.
He's so good that it's worth the $100 just to hear that. So no, they're lucky to have, like, he's phenomenal what he does. But yeah, those are all like little things that just kind of reminds me like why I love the game so much.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much into it. Like you said, you're being a broadcaster, like Pat Foley. Those guys like get you going. You know what I mean? Like that's like for me, I remember because I was a player for so long that when you're on that blue line, they sing the national anthem. And when I went to the Champions League, I'll always remember we had to. So we were on the circle, in the middle circle, and in the Champions League, they put the trophy right in the middle, and your 5 starters are around that half circle.
Oh, really?
But when we were in Russia, it was the Russian national. And I felt like Rocky. I was like, I am Rocky right now. Like I'm going in the best battle, and like all these Russians that they're all fur hats and they were just singing away. And all those things kind of as a player, like, man, was I lucky to experience all these great things. You know what I mean? So those are little things that bring you back to your childhood and remember how lucky you are that you did what you have to do.
I'm picturing you as Rocky in Rocky 4 now. There's a good interesting
good
image
100
coming.
pounds ago.
Oh, yeah. You come up the rush hockey, but I must break you.
I loved it. And I swear that Champions League, I was like, this is the best experience of my life. Like, I'm Rocky right now. Like, and I remember it was the greatest game. Like, the crowd there was nuts. It was fun.
If Rocky was from Sudbury, right?
If Rocky was with Sudbury, yeah.
Well, it should be a fantastic night of hockey here Friday. Home and home for the Peoria Rivermen against the Quad City Storm. This Friday, November 7th, Military Appreciation Night. The Rivermen will be wearing specialty camo uniforms presented by the United States Air Force. Plus, as we mentioned earlier, first 1,000 fans will be given a little package of the Riverman Blend coffee, courtesy of our friends at CXT Roasting. And of course, there'll be a special ticket offer to all active military members and veterans. You don't want to miss that. Again, Friday, 7:15 p.m. And of course, then the Rivermen go on the road on Saturday against the Storm.
Are you cheating your test right now? Did you write all your answers on your shoes?
No, I didn't. I didn't write all my answers on my shoes. What are you talking about? I said that walking right at the camera, Jean-Guy. What are you talking
What's
about?
going on, buddy?
What's going on? Jesus, there's no pleasing this guy.
You're a cheater.
There's no, you know why Jean-Guy Trudel is the GOAT of this league, why he has the most wins of any coach in this league, why he's, I think, 4-time coach of the year. It's incredibly difficult to please him. That's why. The standards are through the roof.
Don't you have to, right?
You have to
have a high standard.
If you want to
If you want a great culture, you have to have high standards.
I was going to say, if you want to be a winner, you got to have high standards.
You have to.
That too.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy.
We'll see you all this Friday night at Carver Arena. For Jean-Guy Trudel, I'm Jason Ruff.
You still cheated.
This has been Coffee with Coach, presented by CXT Roasting.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.